Welcome back to another episode of your Digit Hustle News. Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I got a weekend briefing and I'm starting with a major story that just broke this morning. Binance is being investigated by the CFTC on whether or not U.S. residents have been trading when they weren't supposed to. This guys is highlighting another narrative that I've been paying attention to, and when we get through the video, I'm going to break that down a little bit more. I also have some other stories that I'm going to cover in what I'm going to call a weekend briefing for you guys. I'm going to start doing these. Students in Georgia, they're going to be taught crypto in high school. Takes you back to that our students blockchain video that I did. Also, we have, and I've been reading through this, Australia's government is allocating $5.3 million for their blockchain pilot, as well as China's blockchain ambitions have been set in stone after mentioning their plans for integrations in a recent policy meeting. But we are going to start with Binance first. Binance Holdings, the largest cryptocurrency exchange, is being investigated by the Commodity Futures Trading Commission over concerns that it allowed Americans to place wagers that violated U.S. rules, according to people familiar with the matter. The CFTC is seeking to determine whether Binance, which isn't registered with the agency, permitted U.S. residents to buy and sell derivatives that the regulator policy said the people who asked not to be identified because the probe is confidential. Binance, which has an office in Singapore but says it lacks a single corporate headquarters, hasn't been accused of misconduct, and the investigation may not lead to an enforcement action. However, the scrutiny is the latest sign that the market watchdogs may thwart the crypto industry's ambitions of becoming more mainstream for U.S. investors. Now, a note I want to add right here, guys, in relation to the narrative that I was just speaking to. They're not trying to have us invest into this next economy. They are making it very hard, and they're adding a lot of fear in the American, media centered around cryptocurrencies. But everywhere else in the world, it's popularized. It's almost mainstream everywhere else but here. But continuing, the CFTC considers virtual currencies like Bitcoin and Ether to be commodities and claims jurisdiction over their futures and other derivatives. That means crypto platforms face strict customer protection and oversight demands if Americans are trading on them, regardless of where the exchanges are based. Binance's co-founder said Friday that the company closely follows American rules and has strong controls to prevent its customers from laundering funds, speaking during an event on the social media platform Clubhouse. Now, guys, I actually have a personal experience with Binance last year because, some of you may know I am also a recording artist. I do the rap thing. I make dope rhymes. But I was dealing with this platform named Audius, and they had an airdrop, and the only place to, profit was through Binance. But this was before they had Binance US. So, yeah, full disclosure, I had to take the VPN route to access my funds. My thing is, it shouldn't have been that difficult just because I was in the United States. I kept getting emails not allowing me to initially move it because my IP was being registered in the United States. So once I figured that out, I was able to get what I earned. You feel me? But that just goes back to what I was saying. There's a narrative here when it comes to American citizens getting exposed to crypto. Like Bitcoin is the only thing that's close to mainstream because there are ATMs at liquor stores everywhere. But their CEO continues to say that they will continue to improve compliance and will work actively with regulators around the world to improve the compliance standards of the industry. Binance said in an earlier statement that it blocks U.S. residents from its website and uses advanced technology to analyze deposits and withdrawals for signs of illicit transactions. Binance takes its compliance obligations very seriously, and the CFTC declined to comment. So, as you can see, guys, And I'll put a link down to this in the description so you can read this article in full. I want to get to these other stories for you. But what this is, guys, and I'm going to be honest, in my opinion, this is a tactic. It's a fear tactic. It's XRP. It's been XRP recently. Before that, it was Tether. Now they're coming for Binance. Coinbase is about to go public. You don't think we'll hear something bad about them coming in the summer? Hey, that's just how some of these things go. But you got to have a watchful eye. You got to open your third eye. But moving forward, guys, in some global news, Australia's government allocates $5.3 million for blockchain pilot projects. In brief, the government of Australia has allocated 6.9 million euros, or Australian dollars, which equates to 5.3 million, in the Department of Industry, Science, Energy, and Resources to study the role blockchain can play in regulation. Now, when they say regulation, we're talking our government partnerships and entities that really will boil down to insurance plans, when it comes to buying homes, cars, stuff like that. It's going to be very big. But the money will be spent on 2 pilots intended to show how cost reductions and regulatory compliance are possible with the use of blockchain. ZNet has reported the projects will focus on the supply chains of critical minerals and food and beverages. What do we know? Who do we know that focuses on supply chains, food and beverages? VeChain. Enough said. According to Tim Bradley, General Manager of Emerging Technologies and Adoption at DISER, thus far regulators have concentrated their blockchain efforts on the financial services industry. This is very much an initiative to demonstrate the use of the technology across the Australian public service with regulators. Steve Vallis, CEO of trade group Blockchain Australia, last month called for more support from the government and regulators to encourage blockchain innovation. So, like I said, guys, here in the States, there's a lot of fear being brought up. Okay, there's a lot of regulation, a whole lot of red tape. But around the rest of the world, it's being recognized for what it is, and a new innovation as a gateway to the future. Okay, China's blockchain ambitions have been set in stone after mentioning in a national 5-year plan. China's determination to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to utilization of blockchain technology was evident again this weekend after the release of the country's latest 5-year development plan. The word blockchain was reportedly mentioned for the first time in the 14th of China's regular 5-year plans, which lay out the country's economic priorities from the periods of 2021 through 2025. China's exploration into new technologies has been unceasing in recent years, from its ongoing scheme to roll out a central bank digital currency to its utilization of digital biometric hardware wallets for the digital yuan. China is already regarded to be the forefront of the national currency issuance. All of this despite general distrust of open source decentralized cryptocurrencies within China, as evidenced by the country's ban on cryptocurrency exchange and initial coin offerings. The recent commencement of digital yuan payments in China's Shanghai department stores, coupled with the rollout of ATMs in the Shenzhen region, also align with China's goal to have 65% of its population in urban areas by the end of the next 5 years to be basically digital. And right now, the majority of the Chinese population doesn't use paper money. Okay. The country's willingness to work with business enterprises in pursuit of this aim was evidenced recently when China Merchants Port, the largest port operator in the country, partnered with Alibaba to promote the integration of blockchain technology in the port industry. What do they do at ports, ladies and gentlemen? They move food and beverages. I know it sounds like I'm trying to pump VeChain in this video, but I've been doing a lot of research outside of these videos, and I've just kind of been obsessed with it recently, but it's either here nor there. I'll give you a video about it later. The 5-year plan was criticized in other areas, specifically for its lack of broader economic ambition and the tendency to focus heavily on debt reduction. contrasting with the U.S. President Joe Biden's recent decision to issue another $1.9 trillion as part of a stimulus package. Yes, guys, we did just get approved for another round of stimulus. Yay. There's more money coming into the market. We know where to put it. But final story, guys. Students in Georgia, and this is big. This is aimed at the future. They will be set to be taught crypto in high school. High school students in Georgia seem set to be educated about crypto following a new financial literacy program approved by the Georgia House of Representatives. The Georgia House of Representatives passed a bill which requires state law enforcement to implement a study program based on financial literacy for high schoolers, and cryptocurrency is determined by the program list. The bill will pass the lower chamber of Georgia on March 8th by a vote of 169 to 2. So the bill was passed. Sorry, read that wrong. The bill was sponsored by 6 Republican candidates and was delivered to the Senate for additional deliberation. The application outlines 16 regions of financial literacy to be studied by pupils in the 10th or 11th grade. The statement text states, the State Board of Education shall prescribe a program of study in private financial literacy to be performed by students throughout high school. Cryptocurrency has found itself on the list, and more conventional subjects such as balancing a checkbook, investing, money management, loan software, and taxation assessments. However, given crypto's lowly pace at number 16 out of 16 topics, it may not be the most extensive overview. However, at least it's a start. Yes, very much so. And I love that they're starting in Georgia because there's a high minority population there. And the fact that they're focusing financial literacy in those areas, that's a beautiful thing to see, guys. Where were we? Georgia's bill isn't the first time cryptocurrency was contained in a high school program. Back in 2019, the French Education Ministry employed a Bitcoin and cryptocurrency module to its high school program. The high school was created to give students a fundamental knowledge of cryptocurrency in relation to the conventional financial world. The module pushed pupils to answer questions such as, is Bitcoin the money of the future? Wow. Could Bitcoin replace the euro? And do you have confidence in your money? This is what they're imputing on our children, ladies and gentlemen. This is what they're imputing on our children. And now it's starting to spread. So, like I do, guys, I'm going to put links to all of these down in the description so you can read about them yourselves. But, yeah. That's it for the weekend briefing. I pray you guys have a great weekend, a prosperous weekend. And also, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Ring the notification bell in case I drop one of my special presentation documentaries over the weekend. You can also follow me on Twitter, guys, at Digit Hustle 2021. And also, if you would like to earn some cryptocurrencies, Pipe Flare, links down in the description. Support independent blockchain game developers, as well as Library, a decentralized alternative to YouTube with no ads, and you can just earn cryptocurrency just by watching videos, guys. It's legit. All links will be down in the description, guys. Once again, I want to thank you for coming back to the channel. And you know what I'm about to tell you. Have a great day. Have a prosperous day. But most importantly, make that money. I'll see y'all in the next video.